The best tool for developing raw upper body strength and mobility without wrecking your joints isn't the barbell or the machine. It is the gymnastic rings. They're unstable, they demand control, and they'll take you into deep ranges of motion that most people never touch. Rings will build upper body muscle and unreal tendon and ligament strength. But where should you begin? In this video, I'll show you the first 3 rings push-ups variations that everybody should start with. And I'll show you why training with rings beats the brakes off training with barbells when it comes to building real-world functional strength in a way that is joint-friendly. And this is especially true if you're a little bit older and you're starting to feel a little bit of wear and tear on those joints already. So we're gonna start with the foundation, which is the basic rings push-up. Now, the good thing about rings push-ups is you can modulate the intensity at any point during the set you like. Unlike conventional weightlifting where you're basically stuck with a weight until the set's done, with rings push-ups, if it starts to get tough, you can actually modulate the intensity, not just in the middle of the set, but in the middle of a rep, just by walking out. Inversely, if you want to make them harder, you can just walk back and get closer to parallel. Now, as far as arm position goes, right, we want to avoid this. This is not favorable for the shoulder, this kind of 90-degree angle. And we also want to avoid this. This is much more of a tricep dominant grip. It's not bad, it's just going to make the push-ups a lot more challenging, and it's going to be a little bit less focused on your shoulder and chest. And when we do rings push-ups, we want to get a little bit of everything. I'm going to lock in that push-up position. Now, most common mistake here is saggy hips, right? Letting the hips drop down. So we want to be up in that tight plank, lower down with the elbows at about 45 degrees, and we're looking to get the bicep to touch the ring, right? So flesh to wood and up. Basic rings push-up. Goal for this, 20 clean repetitions, parallel to the floor. The mindset for rings training should be more akin to that of a martial artist than that of a meathead. What I mean by a meathead is somebody who's just trying to move the greatest amount of weight possible without a whole lot of concern for the technique they're using to move it. With rings, it is best approached with an eye for technical mastery. Make sure you have the rings push-up really dialed in, really comfortable, everything feeling groovy before you move on to the more challenging variations we're going to get into next. So next up, we got the rings push-up, but now we're going to add an RTO at the top. An RTO is an acronym for rings turned out. And it looks like this. We do a regular rings push-up, and then at the top of the movement, we're going to rotate the rings to face forward, squeeze in. Think about almost doing this, right? When I think about pushing, rolling the shoulders forward and squeezing everything in, right? You're gonna get a massive upper chest contraction from that. Now this might look really easy, but I promise you, if you haven't done this, you will be amazed by how challenging this is. You're gonna be engaging a chain of muscles and stabilizers that you probably haven't used in decades, if ever. And by adding this little external rotation to the shoulder, we get a massive contraction in the upper chest. And you can try this at home. So just, if you put your arm out like this and then you rotate it and put your hand here, you're gonna feel this upper chest muscle, the clavicular head of the pec, immediately turn on. We're also gonna be getting bicep, right? It's weird because we're not doing curls, but what we are doing is using the bicep in its role as a stabilizer at the top of the movement. So when I'm here, what's keeping my arm locked out and not collapsing is actually a pretty massive bicep engagement right here. And actually heard Coach Christopher Summer, who's the former conditioning coach for USA National Gymnastics, say that one of the secrets to the amazing upper arm development that gymnasts have is from straight arm work, specifically straight arm work where you rotate the rings out. It's also key for building some real resilience into that elbow joint. So, a little bit more deep dive, just a regular rings push up. As we come up, start to rotate out. And if you can, you want to bring them in. And you will sort of think about lifting your back up. So rounding the upper back a little bit, you're gonna feel that upper chest immediately engage. Drop down, rotate out, drop down, rotate out. Oh, hey, real quick, if you're over the age of 40, the healthiest thing you could be doing for yourself is to start a daily mobility practice. And in order to help you do that, I've put together a free 7.5-minute morning mobility routine for you. You can get it by clicking the link in the description down below. It's specifically designed to undo a lot of the harm our modern sedentary lifestyles are causing. So it's going to open up your hips, unlock your spine, free up your shoulders, and leave you feeling a hell of a whole lot better. You can get it by clicking the link in the description down below. So the final variation we're going to go over in this video is the RTO Push-Up. And with the RTO Push-Up, it's a combination of a press and a fly. So my right arm is doing the press, my left arm is doing a fly. We'll alternate side to side. When we do the RTO Push-Up, we're not bringing the hand out directly to the side. So if this is 9 o'clock, we want to be a little bit closer to 10, right? We want a little bit of an angle. It's both healthier for the joint and more effective at engaging the pec. And with the RTO Push-Up, we're getting a combination of a fly and a press. So we're developing real resilience in that shoulder joint and real pressing strength. Hopefully by now you've grasped why rings were the secret weapon of the old school physical culturalists and why they're such an essential tool now for developing real functional upper body strength and mobility, especially for people over the age of 40 who want to stay in the game long term. When you're in your 20s, you can get away with all kinds of wild stuff. But once you get older, you have to be smart, you have to be intelligent, you have to be strategic in the way you train. And rings, absolutely on brand for that. Plus, they're really inexpensive, they last a lifetime, and you can take them anywhere. Pair these with a couple of kettlebells, and you have everything you will ever need to get extremely strong, extremely mobile, extremely powerful, extremely well conditioned, and to stay that way for life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. If you found the information in it useful, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel so much. Thanks again for your time. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.